Fast Fords hold a special place in the hot hatch hierarchy. Their fans will only accept a car with that badge on the bonnet. Now Ford has released a new Quicken, the Fiesta ST. It has 180 brake horsepower, and that's quite a lot, but that's what some of its rivals have, and well, a few of those are ready to be put out to pasture. So does the Fiesta ST have what it takes to keep up with the rest of them? Fiesta ST, ready, fight! This being a battle for supremacy, it's important to find out whether you can take the ST out and about on track. After all, the perfect hot hatch is something you can enjoy on the roads and have fun in around the track. This is where the Fiesta ST's 180 brake horsepower and 214 pound per foot come into play, especially that torque, because, as you know, in order to keep a car flowing nicely around a track, you need a nice smooth torque curve twinned with an excellent manual gearbox, or especially manual, some wonderful steering, some suspension tuned for fun, and lightweight. Thankfully, the Fiesta ST weighs around 1,100 kilos, which means it's really rather fun to fling around. That's helped, of course, by the rest of the package. So, it's certainly got the lightweight, but what about everything else? Well, first up, the gearbox. Much like its bigger brother, the Focus ST, the Fiesta ST has a wonderful gear change. It's short, it's sharp, and it's incredibly difficult to muck up a change. Steering is nice and weighty, which is really satisfying, but it is very, very direct. It works incredibly well, especially in situations like this. As I said, what is very important is the torque in this being very usable, and it has a very, very flat torque curve, which is brilliant. You don't really notice the turbo all that much. There's no lag or anything like that, which is great, but all of the package together serves to make you feel as though the Fiesta ST is a sort of little spring ready to go ping. It's very taut, very tight, very, very, very sort of sporty and good fun. What Ford has managed to do with the Fiesta ST is very clever, because they've managed to beef it up yet still make it accessible. You can still use it as a shopping car and you can still ferry kids around in it, but when the mood takes you, the Fiesta ST just explodes and everything starts becoming fun and awesome, and you have an amazing time in it, and it can't help but put a smile on your face. However good it is on track, it needs to offer thrills in the real world too. On the road, throwing it around like a man possessed counts for very little. You'll end up being arrested. Your new hot hatch needs to be entertaining in real life, good looking, economical and spacious. It's certainly a good looking thing. Ford's allowed the Fiesta ST to flaunt its sportiness. There are no graceful lines here and nothing's been inspired by the wind. No, this thing looks like it's going to take it down with a shiv, a honeycombed side-skirted shiv. It's also pretty practical. You can fit lots of stuff in there, which means you can take it to other towns and scare them with it too. It also ticks the economy box. Thanks to its 1.6 litre EcoBoost engine, you can apparently manage 47.9 mpg, and it'll only emit 139 grams per kilometre of carbon dioxide. That's impressive. It means you can have fun and not pay too much for it. Usually, that ends up in a venereal disease. Real world thrills? Well, this has them by the armful. It is a stonking little motor. There is one downside which I have to get to quite quickly. Where the suspension is great on track, it might be just a touch bumpy in the real world on, say, normal British roads. But other than that, the Fiesta, as we all know, is a cracking little car anyway. And the noise it makes, bouncing off little country roads and off of fences and that kind of thing, is great. It sounds like a little rally car. So when you're going through a B road, you feel like, well, Colin McRae. Ford has once again made a stonking car. It's a perfect junior companion to the Focus ST. Well done. All that is well and good, but none of it really answers my initial question. Is the Fiesta ST too late in the game for this generation? The new Clio has more power, the Peugeot 208 is taking a more relaxed look at the world, the Skoda Fabia is surely due for a refresh soon, Fiat's Abarth is a firm favourite, the Mini now has a new face, the Seat has just been refreshed, so is the Fiesta ST able to stand alongside its current rivals, or is it a case of too little, too late from Ford? Too little, too late? I don't think so. This thing is absolutely brilliant. It's got just enough power to keep up with pretty much everything. It looks incredible. There's plenty of space in there, and it's got the MPG of a diesel. Oh, and it's quite cheap. Pretty much perfect. Right, I'm off hot hatch hunting.